Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Mezari on Endless. What are we doing here? What's my plan? Let's talk about the macro game. Let's talk about strategy. Do you understand the difference between strategy and tactics? Basically, it's that strategy is larger. Tactics is a battle, strategy is a war. That's a good way to think of it. It's important to make good tactical plays to enable good strategic play. You might be more familiar with these with the terms micro and macro. If you're an RTS player, that's the kind of thing we're talking about. So I feel like at the tactical level, stuff's pretty much handled now, and we just need to make sure that our strategy is going in the right direction. Now you'll notice on this score chart, it doesn't look that good for us. But nobody's really particularly close to a victory yet. The closest is the Morgar at 6% of the way to the economic victory. Now, the economic victory can be dangerous. Somebody can explode economically and take this very quickly. And you'll see that sometimes with a Roving Clans player, and sometimes with a Broken Lords player. I'm talking about AI here, of course. The other races tend not to have that explosive economic growth. They don't tend to focus on it as much. So I'm not too worried about that. I think we have time, basically. We have a lot of time before anybody does anything really scary. Unfortunately, we're quite a ways off of being able to push for the victory ourselves. We need 8 or 9, I think it's 9 techs to move up into the last era. I think it's the same as all the other eras. So we need 15 more researches before we can start doing this. Our faction quest isn't really feasible to push through because I have no idea where Masuarim is. And what other victory types are really available to us? I don't know that any are. I guess our economy will grow faster than everybody else's because we're better at managing it. I don't know. Anyway, had I not completed this at the end of the last video? Maybe not. Weird. Anyway, let's, it's possible I loaded a save from a turn earlier than I actually ended the last video. That might have happened. Anyway, let's focus. We just lost an entire army. Basically because I was impatient. It's really the majority of what happened. Oh, right. We had dudes that we were fleeing with the remnants of the army. Well, we'll definitely die if we stand and fight. I guess the most sensible thing to do is just to have the hero hang out over here. Are you sure? Assignment cooldown up? Oh yeah, it is. Okay. Well, we can just reform her, I believe. We can grab her and say unassign, and then create army on city, whatever, one of our cities. They're all pretty much the same. They're all far enough away to be safe. Okay, let's talk about producing another army. And also all the other things we have to do. So, we don't have a currently running holy resource. The reason our holy resource needed to be adamantium was because we needed our troops to be strong. But I think we could go ahead and pop one of these other things. We could go back to titanium for 10 turns while we're rebuilding our army, and use the fact that titanium is our booster to queue up things that we otherwise would not be able to afford. Things that we can't just throw away, 140 adamantium. We can throw away 100 plus titanium and we'll be perfectly fine. Like, every city should have a deep generator. How are we doing on these special buildings? I think we do have a lot of our deep generators up. But like, endless recycling is just a ton of extra science. And the other thing is that probably it's way cheaper to buy titanium than it is to buy adamantium. Yeah, wow, look at that. Price is more than double. So let's just buy a bunch. We certainly have the money. And we'll queue up endless recycling in all of our cities. I bought 2. I didn't need that much. I mean, we do also want to build advanced alchemy labs and stuff. So why don't we pull... It's looking like we're having a little bit of a build time crisis in the capital. People are going to have to actually start building stuff again. Something strong manufacturing center, Anyway, this city is pretty caught up. 820. How much money do we have exactly? 1782. So I want to have a couple of boarding vessels, but it's not actually that useful without having a functioning army, because the whole point of what we were doing is that we were going to break Pink's control of this region by deleting them from the game. So, in addition to this thing that we're doing now, we also have to actually get some units out. So how do I want to run this? We know that their army is pretty heavily ranged. Or was it ranged? Oh man, I've totally forgotten what they were using. Did they have dredges? Ah, whatever. I think our build before was pretty good. So if we go 4 Marines, I do have, yeah, 8 units. How many turns are we at here? We are at 7 turns of unit production with 4 Marines. So let's have the capital do a little bit of building as well. I think it makes sense to buy, like, let's go 2 Centaurs, 6 Marines, maybe? Just a couple of cavalry units can do so much work. And both are tough enough. I think it's worth... Oh, that's the wrong button. I think it's worth doing that. So we're going to have to buy a little bit of adamantium anyway. I think that's enough, right? So we put a Centaur on... And then another... Which one of these costs more? Put another Centaur on. So that's 12 turns to army. We put 2 more Marines up here. Okay, so in 12 turns we'll have another 8-unit army up. It's not perfectly ideal. And we probably actually want more units than that. But that's a problem we will deal with when we get to it. So one of the things that's kind of a bummer about the islands map, and I really do like these more broken up landmass maps. I think they lead to more varied games. But one of the things that's a little bit of a bummer about the islandy maps is that you really are not in a lot of danger. Oh. You really are not in a lot of danger of retribution. Like, Pink is not going to land an army on our coast to punish me for the thing I just did. Okay, what do we need to do here? We need to build an endless recycling center. We don't actually even really have the burrows to take advantage of it yet, but we will. It's coming. Okay, everybody's got stuff to do. These boarding vessels are going to be just kind of crummy for a while. I will say, we are killing it on research speed. There's no two ways about that. So what are we looking at as far as untapped resources? I know that we have a mithrite deposit. We also have a little bit of pixie blood. And some hydromiel. So that doesn't make this incredibly attractive. Hydromiel is actually a pretty poor savings. It reduces the cost of your hero's upkeep costs, rather. It's not that great. We could pick this up and try to ally with somebody, maybe get some water trade going, but that doesn't seem amazing to me. Yeah, we could afford to build we could afford to research and build plow factories, and the plow factory actually is quite a lot of extra food, especially if your cities have expanded at all. We should also probably pick up fluid biomechanics. It's not urgent, but we should have it. Then we'll need 2 more after that. Well, we are going to need the stockpile tax. If we're going for a science victory, the stockpile tax will shorten things significantly. Alright, yeah, I actually put her on the wrong city, because we should have put her here so that we can gather pearls more easily. And since we don't really need the boarding vessels anytime soon, do I actually just want to have this city producing units instead? Land units, I should say. Yeah, let's pull the boarding vessel down to the bottom here. It no longer looks like we'll be able to eliminate Pink quickly, so obviously. But this guy, since he's already built, can just run out here and grab these ruins. Maybe these ones too, although it's a little bit more likely that he'll get killed by Pink interdictors on his way there. Alright, our science output is about to rise relatively sharply. Neth has enough population to build another burrow, and I think that's probably what we ought to do. So the question is whether I want to triangle or stick shape this city. I think we can just triangle it off. It's in such a weird narrow area that I don't think building out tremendously is going to be that helpful. We could build into the river a little bit more, but I don't think I bothered to take any of the river techs. Alright, stand in a tile that is in this city and teleport up to the capital so as to grab these. The teleport really is great. Alright. I think pink ships shouldn't have any more vision than I have. Oh, except this is a... No, this is a manufactorium. This is a bastion. Okay. One of the fortresses gives you extra vision on your fortresses in that region. And it looks like pink doesn't actually have one of those. So this ship shouldn't be visible to pink, so hopefully we will not get ambushed by pink. Go. Okay. Might need to buy more Titan bones. We've received a quest. There's some sunken ruins out near the capital that have something in them. Alright, and our heroes are coming along quickly. We're getting a lot of builds done very quickly. So we won't be able to afford to do everything we want, but we can do this. It doesn't get me the big economy boost, but right now we don't have anybody assigned to dust, and we're not really having any dust problems anyway. I think this is probably the right move for now. I suppose we could take unit cost reduction and attack, but at this point in the game, I think that with us having failed our initial attack and everything, I think that fighting pink is sort of a secondary goal. We have more important things on our plate at the moment. It is probable that attacking pink is not going to have a huge effect on whether or not we win this game. Well, maybe that's not the case. Because taking a land region and a sea region away from another player, even if you're not that concerned with them not having it anymore, just us going up one land region and one sea region would be fairly large. And the city is probably quite developed because it's a cultist city. It'll have all of the bonus yield buildings in it. And I'm talking there about like the Center for Mineralogy and stuff, the things that improve the output of your citizens. We're still at high approval. Don't think we want to pop this. Alright, we'll have enough Titan Bones for a booster next turn without having to buy any. We got one dust water from having that one fortress for one turn. We have a lot of money. Is there any booster that I'd really like to be running that I'm not currently running? Well, Dust Orchid's always lovely. And there is enough for a booster. We don't currently have gold running. Gold's pretty good. We'll have Titan Bones in a second. Yeah, I'm not too worried about a lot of these, but gold is nice. And their dust water wasn't available, right? Yeah, there's only 6 up. Okay, that's fine. I feel like we're doing quite well. Good stuff. I'm even going to have the hero go and grab this, just so that our ship is not distracted. He's got a lot of important stuff to do. He doesn't, not really. That's not a true... that's not an actual thing. So I don't know. I guess I should get the Mithrite extractor tech. I just don't... We're not in a hurry. We're still a couple of researches off of being able to use it, which is the only reason I haven't really bothered to push for it yet. Once we pick up Arts Council and Imperial News Network, then we're going to wish we had more, I'm sure. Okay, Imperial funding really is the next most important thing. How expensive is Hyperion? Not expensive is the answer to that question. Oh, we're out of titanium as well. Whatever. Alright, cities are building. Everybody has orders. It feels like I should be doing more with my turns. It feels like I'm forgetting something. I don't know. Maybe not. Our science machine has come online in a big, big way. Actually, before we do anything else, let's get this going. As you can see, we're probably going to tear through this this research era pretty quickly. Exit the Chosen. Start buffing the science output of his city significantly. Let's go up here and get ready to claim the army. You can see the AI is still fighting pretty fiercely over this sea region. I really do think that's cool. I know I've mentioned it a bunch, but I think it's neat that they're not settling in. So we have enough money that we could... Wow, these are expensive troops, though. I was going to say we have enough money that we could maybe rush some of these units, but I think maybe that's actually a bad idea. Yeah, I'm going to do this. We'll rush an Imperial funding in Lais as well soon. We're making money faster than we can spend it. Alright, let's merge these up. We can at least start getting that extra XP on Avara. Avara is up near the top of the tree. This is the most important skill to max out, in my opinion. Damage is more important than the other combat stats. But we're going to get Cold Operator first so that the army doesn't lose mobility in the winter. It's kind of cool that the Vaulters don't need that if they're fighting a defensive war, because you can just hop from city to city. Okay, there's only one unit here. I'd love to try to make a play for the sea region. I just don't think it's feasible. We'd have to devote too many resources to it. Keep leveling up our heroes. So what does this city need most? Gulgi needs to expand more, which means it needs food. Let's make food the next priority here, because we need to be able to build out more burrows. Yeah, I guess just wait. Is it worth it for me to go back over to Amenvar with only one army, or should I wait for a second group of units to be available? Okay, Moonleaf and Spices, I would like to have both of those running. Alright, so we should be able to get to this ruin next turn. There are so many pearls out here. At this point, we don't have a huge need for pearls ourselves, but we can probably use them for trade. Just keep combining units into her army. A little bit of extra XP every turn. She's far enough from a level that maybe this doesn't even matter. Okay, I don't think the winter changes much for us. Ah, you know what I forgot to do that turn, though, was buy those resources. Alright, Green was able to buy off their black spot. Hooray, we found influence. Fine, I guess. There's a couple turns worth of influence. Alright, it's really probably a good idea for us to keep Moonleaf going. And obviously Spices are great. And I didn't pop the Titan Bone booster the turn it was available. That probably doesn't matter, but obviously it would have been better to do it than to not. Alright, tons of pearls spawning. Our land is extremely pearl rich. I'm not really sure why. We do have a lot of anomalies. I feel like there's a lot of anomalies in our region, maybe more than normal. And anomalies do provide spawning places for pearls. You'll notice pearl deposits spawn very frequently on anomalies. So we have enough money to probably buy this out. I'll just wait a turn. And then we're going to switch the holy resource when this runs out in a second. We'll switch it back to adamantine. Wow, 18 pearls. Yeah, we might be able to tech trade with the AI. Oh, we just got black spotted. And green keeps offering to open their borders for incredibly exorbitant prices. So that's a little concerning, only in the sense that now we have to be really careful with our ship. Could very easily get grabbed by anybody, even in our regions. I don't know how this affects our fortresses. Do players not need to declare war on us to take our fortresses now? Because that actually sucks. If that's the case, that's a real problem. But I imagine that buying the black spot off early is not really feasible. Oh, it's not that expensive. Yeah, what the hell? No. No, I'm not black spotted. I are not content to have no choice. How do you think I feel? Fish people have a serious empathy issue. Alright, so Lais is going to be our living lab tools city. This turns out to take priority over building the Imperial funding, although once this is up, obviously Imperial funding in this city will be incredibly lucrative. Lucrative is maybe not the right word. Valuable, though. Okay, and I totally did not finish what I was doing over here, so we want to go ahead and expand this city out. I think we're... Now, we still have a lot of things we need to build. We just need titanium. Maybe I should have left the holy resource on titanium, if only for the extra gather rate. It's cheap enough to buy, though. We should be fine. Okay. Content to place it on somebody else. I actually don't know how it works. It might be more expensive to place it on somebody who's just bought it off. So that may have guided his decision. Alright, Neth is going to have trouble building useful things for a little while. So I think we can probably just move to science here. We've done a good job of turning around our low industry empire. We're a lot better at building things than we once were. God, do we ever need titanium, though? I'm saving up dust to push that through, but maybe actually that's not a great use for the dust. I mean, every turn, every little bit of science counts, you know. We're trying to get this done before anybody does anything crazy. But maybe I should be spending the dust on other things and just letting the city complete the building naturally, since it is pretty good at building stuff. I don't know. Like, let's do this. I think I swayed myself there a little bit. I think we are going to let the city complete living lab tools naturally. We need to... Yeah, we need to get a lot of things built. Oh, wow, mithrite is not cheap. Alright, well, we'll buy, like, basically all of the mithrite in the world. We'll get on it. Should probably build that as well. Okay. I'm going to wait here for a turn for this guy to be completed before we move back to Lais to pick up the rest of our army. Well, we have a force. I'm confident that we at least would survive an attack. I don't think an attack is forthcoming, but I think that if one was, we would survive it, for sure. Now the question is, do we commit I don't know. I'm pretty torn on the whole thing. Alright, so I think that boosting the science output of our cities is going to be more important than boosting their industry anymore at this point, so I'm going to take Inspirational Leader, as it is the only thing Ipsawacha has access to that affects science. Exit the Chosen is also going to focus on pumping science. Cold Operator is not a bad trade or anything, but I really want that science right now. Okay, Hylomen. I suppose the next thing to build here is the Arts Council. Plus 10% science on the city it's a significant amount. Hi, Green. How's it going? We are obviously in absolutely no condition to take advantage of the black spot. Right, Advanced Alchemy Lab is important. I guess Winter Shelters is good. We actually have quite a lot of adamantium right now. We could afford to spend it. And winter food reduction immunity is like it's actually pretty significant. We want to be driving our population up at all times. That's always true. But we're in the phase of the game where there's not so much tension anymore between building things and forcing births, and we can just like really lean into forcing births. When you say forcing births, it sounds kind of horrifying. Okay. So, what's next? Town Criers is great, but at a certain point, we have enough dust. I don't know exactly where that point is, but I guess we'll get some more dust. Alright, so we have a number of science buildings that we need to construct that we just don't have the resources for. So we're going to need some more Hyperium. Fortunately, somebody's keeping the Hyperium price low with sales. We also still need a lot of titanium. Because we got to get Imperial funding going in all of our cities. That was not enough titanium. What was I thinking? Alright. We also need to queue up. Large-scale aquatic center is important. It's a lot less valuable. But we are going to want it in all of our cities because we're going to be transferring everybody in the Empire to science before too much longer. You know what, just... Oh, I actually ran out of money. Never mind. Well, I suppose I should have teleported over here and kept scooping up pearls. So I don't know that we even really... How many turns off? We're still quite a few turns out from being an actual victory threat. But I don't want to send out our army and have something stupid happen and end up in a place. We're going to keep the Red Sang rolling because doubled hero XP is actually pretty good. I don't want to end up in a place where it's possible for an AI to steamroll me and end my game, even if I think it's unlikely that it'll happen. Alright. How are we doing here? We're about to finish Tech 5. Tech 6 will take 2 turns. 7, 8, 9, if we think, 7 or 8 turns maybe. I think we're actually going to end up going back to titanium as a booster. What am I doing? I want this. Okay, yeah. Titanium will remain available. People are selling it at a pretty good clip. There's really nothing for this boat to do. It only even got built because I forgot to put more things in Valdea's queue. Did you guys know? Sometimes I forget to do things. It does happen on occasion. Alright, so what is our Empire Science per turn at 5084? Should go up. That's 7 or 8 turns to get into the next era. Was a pretty conservative estimate. I think it should actually be faster than that. And I don't know how long it's going to take for us to start researching stuff in the new era. Yeah, this is... wow. That's a slow build. Maybe you guys could put a little more effort into that. Okay, down here we can keep building out. See, this is what I want to see. Let's get some more 34s. What are we doing over here? How's this city going? There's an 86 there. That's not bad. We do need to finish building burrows around the Alchemic Institute. I forgot about that. Okay, so this city now needs the Imperial News Network. Is that Mithrite extractor actually functioning? Okay. I'm gonna have to wait. So I think it's time to shift this city back into science mode. Let's buy out the burrow because it's not going to be terribly expensive and we want to get started on the next one. Yeah, and our play is going to be very internal from here. We built another unit or two. We could try to put together a second army and then just convoy 16 units over here and take down Amenvar. But I don't know that it's going to accelerate things a tremendous amount. I guess I keep forgetting, it's not just a city, it's the cultist city. Amenvar is likely to be an extremely powerful city. What's this? Open borders for town criers. Open borders for whatever my most advanced technology is. Doesn't really sound that appetizing, honestly. Alright, well, you now have access to the Dust Revitalizer, which is pretty nuts, and Advanced Extraction, which is also pretty nuts. But I sort of don't care, I think. Dust is not really our primary issue at the moment. The thing we would most like to use dust for, buying Mithrite, is the thing we can't use it for, so I suppose there's no reason. We should have this researched. And then also, maybe this could help. We need one more after that. Well, we may as well make it... Jeez, I don't know. Oh, mining rights. Yeah. Plus one resource on extractors, right. That's a thing that's actually of value. If nobody's going to take this, we'll just sneak over there and take it. And we just wait in Gulgi because we can be anywhere we want to be very quickly. Yeah, so we have to decide whether we want to go fighting, because if we want to go fighting... Okay, open wounds is maybe not the best time. If we want to go fighting, Valdea needs to start building troops. It is a big city. Yeah, okay. Lais theoretically could be getting on troops, but also it has stuff to do. How long does it take to build a troop here? Yeah, 5 turns if we're not going to be devoted to industry. And they're too expensive realistically to buy out a bunch of them. Nah, this is fine. I mean, maybe I should just send the existing army over there. We got hit pretty hard before, but part of that is that we did not have... oh, Moonleaf. We need Moonleaf. Part of it is that we did not have full health because we got hit crossing. Huh. Oh, I thought I clicked 3 times. Right. It's important to keep the Moonleaf running, plus 50% science. We'll have enough for this naturally in a turn. We don't have our Spice Booster running, because I forgot to buy enough to renew it. Everything's cool. Alright, and we're getting to even more science in Lais. What is Lais at right now? Lais is putting out 3,200 per turn, which is more than half of the Empire as a whole. Aw. I was gonna just take that, but... Stupid submersible. Run away. It wasn't unguarded after all, it's just that his ships have stealth, because submersibles. He actually is bringing a single fire ship over here to attack a ship that he cannot possibly have known about. That's annoying. I wish that it was possible in Endless Legend to put a ship under the protection of a city, the way it is in Civ. It would be a nice feature. Just roll it all the way into the dock. You get out of here. Alright, get away from red into safe territory. Do I want to keep adamantine? I'm going to make this take as many of your actions as possible. Because if we're just going hard for the science victory, it makes way more sense to do titanium. Plus 20% science. Yeah, you know what? This is not the most action-packed victory, but I do think it's the one that is most presented to us. So we need 4 more turns before we're ready to... It doesn't show fractions on here, so I'm not sure if we have 2 or 2.5 Mithrite right now, so I'm not sure if this is 3 or 4 more turns. We need a couple more turns is the point. Whatever, we have time. Honestly, if we're not going to be aggressive, we can pretty much just put this army on in defense mode and ignore it for the rest of the game. If we get attacked, we fight back. But other than that, I think it's mostly a matter of waiting now. It is turn 138, which is a little later than I'd like to be starting the last era. That plus science. Yep. If you're wondering why we didn't get to do another retreat, it's because we, it's because of open wounds preventing the turn worth of regeneration that usually happens. So there's no particular reason for me to have waited this long to buy out the stockpiles. I guess we were kind of straining on resources a little bit. We have 2392. Yeah, I'll just buy all of the stockpiles. Alright, so... Okay, difference engine probably won't actually take 11 turns. Remember that we're still building in a lot of places. Who needs... It's actually not Lais that needs the industry stockpiles the most. It is going to be all of the food stockpiles are going to Lais, though. And we'll, in a second here, we'll investigate which city is the likely target for these industry stockpiles. So Lais actually does need to build a couple of things, right? We need Scientific Envoy, Imperial News Network, and Climatology Guild. Maybe I was wrong. Yeah, you know what? I actually am gonna... This is the wrong screen. Actually, I'm gonna target these on Lace. So the jewel of the Empire as far as the science victory goes. Alright, I don't even know what I want you to do. I also don't know what these green guys are doing. Slowly, one by one, funneling into this ocean, I guess. Seems a little bit odd to me. So Valdea doesn't really need to be producing units anymore. We're giving up on this. I'll let them finish the one they're already building, because we've already committed some time to it, may as well. Because you know what? The sunk cost fallacy only matters to me when I feel like it ought to matter to me. Apparently. Alright, so do we have Mythrite on the market? No, we're going to have to wait one more turn before we can do that. So let's build Scientific Envoy. It's a little bit of extra science for the city, at least. Yeah, we can queue up some Royal Universities. Remember, they won't actually take only this long to build. It's because of the industry stockpiles. And we need, like, a lot of titanium. So what, we need 30 titanium to build the Climatology Guild, plus 20 for each city that we want to put scientific envoys in, plus Neth could benefit from a hydromatic laboratory in addition to still needing a large-scale aquatic center. Basically, we need, like, a lot of titanium. Okay, so let's put the Climatology Guild up here. We do still need Imperial News Network. Is that the last thing we need Mythrite for in this city, though? We don't need to build town criers. We don't really need automated production. It's kind of crazy that this city still doesn't have a large-scale aquatic center. Okay, and now that that's been set. Oh, we should finish building out the city. How about that? That seems like a worthwhile goal. But let's also get working on the science, because we got a lot of time left. I don't know, man. Just chill. Watch the pretty fireworks. These people are going to be blowing each other to Kingdom Come for the foreseeable future. You can at least get a view. But our military units are much less important than they used to be. I think we can afford to do this. It doesn't get us anywhere near that, but +2 science per turn on district. I guess... No, I think we're okay on approval, actually. It might be better for us to lower the buyout cost of buildings. Oh, we're getting spied. Alright, well, that took forever. But it has finally happened. I guess this is another way that the game is easier on the island map, is that the AI doesn't start spying on you nearly as quickly. Avara Lasmak, it doesn't really matter, I guess. Whatever. So yeah, I think lowering the buyout cost of buildings is probably a worthwhile thing to do there. Alright, Valdea needs something actual to do. How many river tiles does Valdea have? I don't actually see a river here, do I? Oh yeah. It looks like it just stops there, though. So the answer is 2. Well, that makes this not incredibly attractive. We don't really need the Arts Council. I suppose we'll do large-scale aquatic center next. 516. So these, even our smaller cities are providing quite a bit of science. It looks small in comparison to the very large amounts being generated by the sort of superstars, but alright. I don't know, this is largely irrelevant. Unwind Weighbridge is unlikely to be able to get enough XP to get to any skills that that will affect things. Alright. What do we still need to build in Lice? We don't actually have rivers, I believe. That's going to stay grayed out. But we do still need the Imperial News Network. This is important. 42, 43. Okay, so we'll be able to buy that out next turn. We're being attacked. Okay. Okay. You got me. It's a shame that there's so little way for ships to affect land. You know? The Civilization has this problem too, where after a certain point in the game, it just doesn't feel like the, not even after a certain point in the game, I don't know why I said that. It just doesn't feel like there's any good reason to build naval units, if you're in a lot of situations. In Endless Legend, they did a much better job of making the water itself valuable. But, like, now that we've decided, even if Pink attacked our ocean region, now that we've decided we're going to go for a science victory, I wouldn't bother to build anything to defend it. It just doesn't matter anymore. Okay, Neth now has some leveled up districts, which is nice. We can buy a bunch more titanium and get out on the building scientific envoys. Oh, this city, yeah, still needs a lot of stuff. The scientific envoys will take so long to complete that I don't feel bad buying them out. We use the extra titanium from this intensifier. Or actually, does the intensifier give us extra titanium? Because vaulters naturally get +1 resource from extractors, I'm not sure that the gather rate of the... I'm not sure that the gather rate of the intensifier is any higher. I don't know if it also benefits from that trait, because the trait does explicitly say on extractors. But we're about to find out. Alright, whatever gives us plus science. So we are now up to over 10k per turn. Difference engine is coming along. The capital really needs to switch over here. We could get scientific envoys going here, and I think I will at least buy this stuff. How much does it cost to buy this out? Alright, we'll probably just end up buying that out. Although if I keep buying resources, it's going to make it impossible to buy out all these buildings that I need to buy out. Alright, so we've gotten up to, with this, plus 16 science from each of these citizens. We're at 18 citizens plus 2, moving up to 19 plus 2 in a couple of turns. Lais probably has... I'm actually kind of curious. I'm going to check the score thing here. I'm curious where everybody else is on science output. Yeah, Lais itself is outputting more than all of the other players' empires, I think. Yeah. For some reason, the AI seems to lack the ability to focus in on a goal. I think what happens in the AI Empire is that it's tending to all of its concerns at the same time. Apparently his ship is just going to sit here. He's not actually, like, doing coastal bombardment. With the one boat he has, it would be a little bit silly, but I guess I think it puts the city into siege mode. Prevents me from getting the effect of all of my outlying tiles. I'd have to build some ships, and I mean, it wouldn't be a big deal, but it would be something. Alright, we actually can't reboost titanium this turn. We're going to have to wait a turn. But that's the difference engine. And now I think we're actually going to go for food next. for additional growth, and then, I mean, from there it's largely irrelevant. From there, get whatever. Alright, so we're gonna have to wait a turn on this, or, you know what? I don't feel like waiting a turn. Let's keep that science booster flowing. Stockpiles will periodically just appear. Ooh, Dust Orchid's available. Dust Orchid will also periodically just appear on the market. Damn it. Just that I'm buying in even 10s again. That's another plus 20% science. We're still not... No. Still no. Alright, Lais is about to finish a stockpile. I'm not sure that that was the best thing we could do, but it was so far along that I decided I wanted to let it finish. We actually don't have a lot of science-relevant buildings to build in this city anymore. Burrows are better than... probably are better than building more stockpiles, but not by a huge amount. Yeah, unfortunately, the effect of the stockpile doesn't scale in any way, so... As your internal science machine gets better and better and better, the stockpiles become less relevant. As you can see, the stockpile, use of the stockpile would only... If we were to keep our science rate stockpiled all the way through self-driving plows, it would only clip one turn. I'm not too worried about the grass silk as long as we're still above fervent. Right, Exit the Chosen is getting even more science. So the capital is probably contributing quite well as... Yeah, 2017 is not bad at all. Let's hope that turns out to be true. I know it's like a meme at this point, but 2016, you know, was not great for a lot of people in a lot of ways. As an American living in an area with good infrastructure, I was largely insulated from basically all of it, but that doesn't mean it's okay to be ignorant of it, you know? Some bad stuff is happening out there. So what do we want in this city? I suppose Imperial News Network is the obvious answer to that. So we need 3348. Okay, we'll be able to buy that out pretty quickly. Yeah, at this point, it's just a matter of waiting. We'll be finishing the game in this video. I think it's very unlikely that anything surprising will occur. So if you want to check out now, I wouldn't blame you. It's going to pretty much just keep going the way it's going. We're going to keep tightening up our science machine here and hopefully clip a turn or two off of the end of the game. But I think we've done it. And honestly, I feel like the fact that we had Dellard in play did help quite a bit, but maybe not as much as I was hoping. I think without the ocean region, we still probably would have been able to do this. It's a shame that the AI is so unable to challenge you on certain kinds of victories. They get out there and they get control of the oceans quickly, but once they have the oceans, all they can really do is race you. And as we've seen, they don't race all that well. There's not really anything super relevant to build here. Why don't we... I don't know. That's not actually going to help. He's not going to get that finished in time for it to matter. Oh, you have a number of buildings still. Yeah, what the hell. So we'll be spending a lot of dust rushing buildings in this city, I think. That's going to be the largest gains. Alright, now that we have self-driving plows, we should see Lais's population push up even faster. Yeah, this is pointing out to everybody that we're at... oh, Green has also hit 2 victory techs. So it is a race. Unfortunately, the AI really does not focus. They pick up victory techs, but then they stop. They stop picking up victory techs. And I think the idea is that it gives the players a little bit more time to react. Alright, 6 turns on Dust-Driven Distillery. I think we'll be alright. Yeah, I think the idea is that it gives you more time to react when you see the notification, hey, the AI is close to a science victory. You have a little bit more chance to do something about it. But it does mean that if you are in sort of a comparative, sort of a similar place, you don't really have to worry about the AI catching or surpassing you. Let's just keep everything we can rolling. Keep periodically checking for stockpiles. Yeah, we did get Adamantium earlier, and that could have been relevant if we had engaged in any significant amount of war, but we really didn't. Yeah. This was not a hugely relevant resource. I guess the Red Sang does help. The Red Sang gets your governor's levels more quickly, and that matters. That's gonna end up being significant. Alright, another Winter Falls. I think probably pretty irrelevant, unless it... yeah. Minus 30% damage on support, plus 30% damage on flying unit is interesting. This winter effect is actually helping us, which is unusual. I do not believe I've ever seen that one before. I do think we want to keep running the titanium because we want the big science boost more than anything. How far are we from being able to buy this out? Probably a turn. Oh no, it looks like we put enough build into it because these people are on the wrong damn resource. Okay. I suppose there was important building going on. Is there enough dust orchid for me to re-up that? Because that's a valuable one. Nope. Well, whatever. Ipsawacha's gonna keep turning up the science. Oh, Gulji also still needs actual science buildings. Now there is a full-size navy. Still only one artillery ship. Lurking outside of our capital, but not able to do anything aside from just lurk. I wonder if it would be too powerful. I bet they tried this. I'm wondering what the effect would be of allowing ships to actually attack cities. Although if you were going to allow something like that, then you have to give the city some way of defending itself. And it seems pretty obvious that they wanted to keep naval units and ground units from ever coming into direct conflict, probably to prevent the balancing nightmare that would happen if they had to try to balance the stats of the units against each other. If you isolate them to just ship stats only matter relative to other ship stats, and ground unit stats only matter relative to other ground unit stats, it's a lot easier to keep things from skewing out of whack in one direction or another. And putting so much value into the sea regions, making fortresses so powerful, is a good way of making ships relevant, even if they can't affect cities, I suppose. Alright, well, we've got a lot of income now. I think we probably are not changing anything here. There's no particular reason for me to go for the approval. Yeah, the only thing we could realistically do here to shorten stuff up is we could try to trade an ending tech off another player. It's not completely infeasible that might happen, especially since we know green has ending techs. Hey, green. Alright, I'm going to close our borders to green. We're going to give them a turn to stew on that. and then I'm going to offer them open borders in exchange for some technology. We'll see if that works. I don't expect that not open borders in exchange for technology, but use the opening of our borders to secure the ability to trade for their tech, because you can't trade for somebody's tech unless you are trading them a treaty or you are at least at peace with them. Right, but now that we can offer open borders, all of a sudden, this stuff is on the table. Now, the AI does not value your open borders very highly, necessarily. Like, what if we... Oh, we could get it. We'd have to trade them an ending tech as well. Oh, they wanted 2. It took 2 ending techs to get that deal. Okay. Where are they at? Yeah, they're at 2 techs right now. It would be insane to trade them 2. If we traded them 2 techs from the end era, they could win the game at any moment if they're researching one of the others. So we can't take any trade that involves 2 techs from the end era, and we can't afford, influence-wise, any trade that only has 1 end era tech in it, I think. Yeah, they don't care about my pearl supply. Ooh, actually... Well, we can make this work. This is the thing, the AI should be smart enough not to do this. But if we're trading them dust-driven distillery, but we're not trading them plows. Yeah. Deal. Okay, so we hit end turn here, and it should, at this point, send a warning to the other players that we are at 4 techs. Green is now at 3, and we are right up on top of the end of the game here. So the AI values, when they send messages to you, they act like them opening up their borders is really valuable. As you can see from the offers in this game, which is being absolutely ridiculous. Green trying to get a current era, whatever the best technology we have is, in exchange for opening their borders to us. But it's not because they think open borders is awesome. It's because they think that their land is valuable. Green doesn't value our land, so us opening our borders to Green was pretty uninteresting. See, now they want Imperial funding and unskilled labor for their borders to open, and I am going to tell them to get screwed. Right. Does this pull us down to 1 turn? It does not. Stuff is too expensive. These stockpiles don't matter enough. It's fine. We got it. So like I said, I don't know how much this actually helped. And I think that us being on an island map really, really, really did make it hard for the AI to interact with us in a way that was maybe not beneficial to the closeness of this game. I know we lost the last one, and honestly, we might have lost this one as well. It's turn 165. A Roving Clans player might well have won the game economically by now. So basically, I think that playing on a watery map produces a less interactive game, which is generally to the player's advantage, but not necessarily always, and it definitely makes it way harder for you to get in on the other players, which can be to their benefit, as, you know, it would be the case if we had a Roving Clans player in this game. So I'm not 100% sure what we're going to be doing for the next video. If you have suggestions or desires, please leave them in the comments below. Come back next time. We'll be doing a little bit more Endless Legend. And I hope to see you then.